Well, good day. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Atari 8-bit gameplay. This is Shadow World from 1982 by Mike Potter and Synapse Software. Now then, I am overdubbing this because, like a tool, I managed to record this entire episode without any microphone input. So, very cool looking title screen with the Atari color wheel thing happening. The game reminds me a bit of Defender. I don't know that I ever played this back in the day, or if I did, I never got into it. And I have to say, after playing it for this video, that I really enjoyed it. So there's a little preview for you. I did look at the manual for this, and the manual is actually not bad. The idea of the game is to defeat these pods that are coming down from the upper atmosphere, from outer space, presumably. Your base is defended by these laser wall things that you can fly through with no problem. There are, I forget what they're called now, some sort of a crystal that you can pick up, which will stop. You can seal up. So when the pods reach the ground, as one did over here, just below where I am right now, it starts sending out. It turns into what's called a colonizer, and it starts sending out a bunch of additional baddies for you to contend with, and it has to be defeated if you want to clear the wave. So the idea is to defeat all of the pods and or colonizers in the wave. Although I have not yet actually figured out at this point how to defeat a colonizer, or at least I've not really understood it. It takes a little time to wrap your head around what's happening in the game, even if you have read the manual. So you can see the little... No, there's not one on the screen right now. These little tiny little ships that zip along the terrain. Right there, there's one going from right to left. And they pick up the same, I'm going to say, crystal units, the crystal things that you can, and they bring them to the pods. And then once they deliver one of the crystals to the pod starts to descend in order to turn into a colonizer. So the action is pretty fast. There's lots going on, and the logic of the game is really well thought out. Oh, and I've realized that the camera that I recorded this with, in terms of looking at me, it's the wrong damn camera. Oh well. So the angle isn't great, and actually the color's kind of washed out too, which is interesting. So that was, I think, the end of my first kick at it. And you can start on different levels, actually, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure that I do that. Look, I'm using a mouse cursor. I think I'm probably looking at the manual at this point, describing, again, some of the different things. As I mentioned, it did take me a little while to kind of wrap my head around what all's going on. The logic of the game, the flow of the game is really well constructed. You know, the pods come into the atmosphere, they start sending down the little scout ships to pick up the whatever they are, the crystals, the resources. Then when that gets delivered to the pod, they descend to the surface, all the while spewing baddies, and once they hit the surface, they start spewing even more baddies. You can seal them off, and I did in fact manage to do that at one point, a little later on in the game. So anyway, here we go. Now, the manual also suggests that a two-player game is easier. I'm not sure how it works. I never did even try it, I don't think. See base 1, base 2, that would be player 1, player 2. There, I just shot one of the little scout guys there. If you can catch them while they're descending a cliff, if you can just sort of catch them at the surface. Now, you can also run into the terrain, which I've done a couple of times here. It's easy to do, especially when you get moving, and until you get a little more used to the controls. the pods are only vulnerable, or the white sections or the gray sections as they sort of pulse outwards cannot be shot, but the purple ones can be. So that's also a thing. There, you just saw one of the scouts nip back up and turn this pod into a descending pod. When you shoot the pods, they explode and they spit off some fragments off in diagonal directions, and you can get hit by those oops, that wasn't great. You can get hit by those as well. I think there are a set number of pods per wave, and now you can see that there are 5 active. Now that I destroyed one, now it's down to 3. I think everything in the game is shootable, even one of them hit the ground already. And I forget what those are called, but once they're on the ground you can't shoot them anymore. The little butterfly flappy looking things that they shoot out, I think they also turn into they sort of pulsate between. I'm not sure if that's meant to be like an end view and a side view or something, but kind of cool looking sprite animations. And that's the game. So I may do some smaller amounts of talking here as the video progresses. Running right into the baddies. That's excellent technique there. There's a crystal thing, and now I picked one up, and I was thinking, oh geez, maybe I use that to ram the pods, but that's actually not what you do with them. You use them to seal up the pods, or once they've hit the ground, once they've landed and they become a colonizer, then you use it. You get the nice glowy effect and the sound effect. Getting to wave 2 isn't super challenging. Pods also make materialized right on top of me there, and I hit the shrapnel from it. Awesome. The pods make a descending noise as they are descending, which is also a nice touch. There's lots of sounds in this game that have meanings as well. Game over once again. And quite possibly I'm taking a moment to look at the manual once again. So I'm working out what all is what. Yeah, you can, I'm not showing the manual on the screen, but you can see my mouse is sort of pointing at stuff, I think, in my web browser. Hopefully I remember to pull it off the screen when I'm done. This is by, do I still have the page up? I have I still have the manual up. Mike Potter, 1983 by Synapse. Synapse did have a reputation of putting out excellent games, and I would put this one in that category of excellence. The music is good. I'm not sure if I know who did the music. Let me see if I can figure that out here. Nope, no info on that. But the graphics and music are quite nice. I think Mike Potter probably did the graphics himself. I mean, they're actually quite effective at doing what they're intended to do. The water animation, it's not bad. Lots of animation, I guess. And you get all of the sounds of the game without the player sounds when it's in sort of the demo mode like it is now. Okay, me. Time to play the game some more. How about that? How about that, ya big bozo? There's another pod landing. Too bad there's no player to do anything with it. I think it landed. Okay, we're gonna play some more. Yay! Let's do that. Not so skilled. If you just don't move after you shoot one of the pods, you won't get caught by the shrapnel. There, I caught the scout, I think it's called, or something along those lines. Actually, I had the manual right in front of me. I can tell you what it's called. Let's see here. The crystals are called trichasmium. Yes, I remember that now. I said that about 100 times during the video. The drones are programmed to shoot at you and seek and destroy. Skimmers, that's the one. They get the trichasmium crystals, or trichasmium. Colonizers cannot be attacked by cannon fire, which I had talked about already. You need to retrieve a nugget of trichasmium and by touching it with your Hornet fighter, and when it's done properly, the nugget will disappear and your Hornet will begin to glow. You will then pass above and touch an active colonizer, avoiding the seekers, and you will seal it and vaporize it. So you can pick up the trichasmium nuggets. You have a certain amount of smart bombs. I think I possibly started using those a little later in the game, a little later in my play session, or maybe I forgot all about them. So yeah, there's a bit of a silliness backstory, but that was kind of de rigueur back then. You always had to have a backstory of some kind. The Guardian of Jantor, the Rigelian fleet has registered on our planetary sensor bank. A full-scale invasion has begun. So the pods are also called crystals in the game, or crystal pods, I guess, to be more exact. Guardian drones, skimmers, colonizers. Yeah, that's about it. There is another type of enemy, which I don't think is even mentioned, that's spit out by the colonizers. Anyway, there we go. Now I do get better at the game as the session continues. It's not that often that I play a game for half an hour or more, which is absolutely an indication that I'm enjoying myself. Getting used to the speed of things and how the controls react is a part of a game like this, or any kind of game with a little bit of sophistication even. There we go, there's a colonizer. So, do I try to... I might have had sealing it in mind. Maybe I still have. There, I just got that skimmer. The top bar of the screen turns green when you're over a trichasmium nugget, which there, it was going to happen except that skimmer picked it up. There you can see it, it's green. And the bar is also lit up green. So now, can I get in there and seal this colonizer? I believe I understand how to do that at this point, or at least I'm trying to figure it out. There we go. Colonizer sealed and destroyed. It didn't explode, but it, I guess, disintegrated. pretty sure the game has auto fire, so you just hold down the button and it fires like crazy, which is nice in a game where you have to be shooting most of the time. Not great. Not great. I was doing alright up until that point. There, you saw the bar lit up. There's a trichasmium crystal that I could... Oh, the skimmer grabbed the crystal. Or the trichasmium... whatever. Crystal? I want to say crystal. Nuggets, I guess they're called. Colonizers, or the crystal pods, just kind of materialize in the sky, so they can materialize right on top of you. When those things are descending, you get a bit of an opportunity to shoot in between the rows of crystals, I guess, and then you don't have to necessarily wait for the pulsing invincible sections of the big crystal to get into a state where you can shoot through it. Wave 2, look at me go. Getting better now. 6 pods at the moment. 7 even. Wave 3. Not smart. Some of them are descending already. Or one of them is anyway. Oof. Am I dead? I'm dead. Well, wave 3, that's getting better. Getting better. That wasn't great. If I just sort of stayed where I was, I actually would have succeeded in destroying it. Ooh, almost did myself in there. That one was descending and I smashed myself into the landscape, so that wasn't great. Wave 1. Wave 1 done. So there's a bit of a grace period, it looks like, in the collision with the crystal pods if you just start moving right off the bat. Because you do go through them, and I know that happened once or twice, at least a couple of times in this play session. Not doing so good at the moment. One more player. You can hear the pod reaching the ground. I think that little sound is the crystal pod reaching the ground. Yeah, I mean, they don't look much like butterflies, but they do look a little bit like butterflies. And there's the game once again. Those ones get spit out once the colonizers reach the ground. I think I was thinking the first time I picked up one of those crystals that I was invulnerable, or the nuggets I was invulnerable, but that's not the case. You just have the ability to take out a colonizer if you play your cards right. Oh, I'm sleepy. It's not quite as exciting overdubbing video as it is playing the game. Hello, Monsieur Colonizer. I have failed in my mission to destroy you. Oh, I'm not sure what I was doing then. Nothing smart. I get it? Yes. This is a really good game. I can see myself coming back and playing this. There's not lots of games that I would... Well, there's quite a few games. Okay, I was going to say there's not lots that I would revisit, but there are quite a few, to be fair. But this is definitely one of them, but not one that I was really overly familiar with before making this video. Okay, can we seal the colonizer? Let's get her done. Oh, come on. I should have had that. That should have been sealed. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Huh. Descending already. Wave 1. Got that skimmer just as it was heading back up to the pod. It's nice that you don't lose the nugget when your ship gets destroyed. This game gets actually fairly intense, right off the bat, basically. I mean, colonizer already? Number 1, wave 1. Is that the game? No. There we go. Sealed it off. I'm not sure what that was, but I didn't die, so that's good. Also didn't pick up the nugget. Ooh, poor. Right on top of the thing. Almost did myself in. Never mind the descending, or the scouts, the drones. Just shoot enough of them to get through to your objective, which is going to be either the colonizer or the pod. Yeah, there is a colonizer there. Got it. Wave 2 complete. Oh yeah. Two pods right on top of each other there. Oh, well, at least I got it before I died. So many pods. Who's left? Oh, dummy. That's the game. Oh, I was almost at wave 4. Ah, oh, so close. Get in there. Come on. Boy, those drones are... They spread right out. Dumb. There it is. Wave 1. Ooh. Oh, see, if I just carried on to the right instead of lingering until the collision detection kicked in, I would have been okay. It's chaos. There's a lot going on. Wave 2 even. Wave 2 only, I should say. Active colonizers spitting out all kinds of stuff. Which I managed to survive for the most part. Whoa, so many things happening. So many things. Can I survive? Yes, I can. Oh, I was doing okay there. I was doing alright. Oh, dummy. Dummy, dummy, dummy. 2 active colonizers now. Only wave 2 yet, no less. I'm trying to remember. I think you might get an extra player, extra ship at the end of each wave. There's no nuggets. There's got to be nuggets. That's it for the game, I think. Yeah, or for that set of ships anyway. Go again. I think at this point I'm like, well, just one more go, and then, oh well, maybe just one more go. Which is another sign that I'm enjoying myself. For sure. Shooting all the pods. I think it eventually occurs to me that you don't get too many points for that. Oh no, wait, I'm thinking. There we go, wave 1. One and done. 5 ships. Yeah, I think you get an extra ship after each wave. Well, that was stupid. That was a stupid way to go. I believe I think I got to wave 4 at some point. It must be in this game. No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining things. Oh, God. Bad way to die. There's a descending pod, and you're almost out of ships. Got it. I almost flew myself right into the shrapnel, too. And another descending pod. Where is it? There it is. Wave 2. Yeah, a lot of depth to this game, and you know, you play something like this for a while, and you start to really get into it and understand what's going on with the depth, all the intricacies of it, and that kind of intricacy is really the sign of a good game. I'm quite lucky I didn't get destroyed by the shrapnel there. There we go, wave 3. Here we are on wave 4. Oh, see, I reacted in time to get out of the thing before the collision detection kicked in. Did I get to wave 5? I don't think so, but maybe. We'll see. I'm just about out of ships here, so I'm not so sure. Ooh, got it. Got it. 5 crystal pods. Oh. Oh no. Last ship. 4 pods to go. Ooh. Oh. What a terrible way to go. Oh. What a terrible way to go. Alright, my friends. Well, I think that's going to probably do it for this one. Looks like I managed to keep talking for another 90 seconds or so. I think I'm probably expounding on what a good game this actually is, which I was doing for the last little while. So yeah, just a real logic to the way everything is works together, and the flow of pods and drones and skimmers picking up the trichasmium nuggets to bring back to the pods to have them descend and turn into colonizers who spit out even more drones and smart bombs, which I think I just forgot all about completely. Those are launched with spacebar. I don't think I remembered to use those at all, which there are times when it would be quite useful to remember that's a thing. But I think I didn't make any use of that at all. There's certain aspects of this that are reminiscent of the game Defender, but it's really its own thing. Yeah, the colors in that are really, really nice. Nicely done. And the music is decent too. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for my look at this one. Thanks so much for watching. You take good care of yourselves. And you know what? I will, in fact, see you for another video real soon. Bye.